The movie we're going to recap called Tomorrowland. The film begins with the introduction of Frank, a clever young boy who invents a jetpack at a young age. He attempts to sell it to a network festival, but it is rejected due to malfunctioning. Disheartened by this setback, he meets a girl named Athena who gives him apin with a mysterious tonic and leads him on an unexpected water ride. This ride eventually takes him to a tunnel where his pin is scanned, leading him to a teleportation machine rather than a conventional lift. This machine has the ability to transport individuals from one place to another instantly without the need for physical travel. Robert is directed toward the land of tomorrow. When he sees everything over there is shocked. Everything was shy-tech there, and from what I could see over there it appears to be another word. At that point, our port wins him the lottery. When Frank sees them, he feels scared. He stumbled and fell toward a bridge while jogging, but Frank's jackpot keeps him from falling. Frank now understands that his jackpot has been fully fixed and is operational. As everything is going on Athena's lodging him in this land. This land is described as tomorrow's land. She says after moving here with Tina, Franks seem to be having a great time with so many innovations in the country of tomorrow. Years later in the film, on Earth we see a girl named Casey who works as an engineer for NASA. She purposefully disrupts NASA's programs since his father must fix them to keep his father employed over there. Someone has noticed that she was taken into custody this time. When Casey released the label pin in the following scene, she had the identical one that Frank had. Athena gave Frank the identical pin. Upon touching the lapel pin, Case immediately extends his hand towards the land of tomorrow. When she notices everything over there, she feels shocked. She had never seen such cutting-edge technology. She was having a great time there because everything was new and sophisticated. Suddenly, his lapel countdown began. As she watched Tomorrowland, it suggests that the battery is getting down. She reaches back to Earth when the label pin's 0 countdown begins. Waste, too perplexed by everything that transpired, doesn't know what happened or where it happened. Waste, this a land of magic. It was all really confused locating that badge heading inside Wonderland, and returning home tries to clear up her confusion by looking at this brother's badge. When they arrive, they discover a store's address. She immediately heads over there and shows them the credential she discovered in her suitcase. Seeing that emblem, the keepers look shocked. They frantically look into her. However, she didn't know about that badge because she had taken it from her suitcase. When Casey was unable to answer, they started to Huther with a gun and she ran away. During this, Athena appears, fights well with those shopkeepers and kills one of them. It can be said that she broke one of them. By breaking one of the robots, we get to know that those shopkeepers were actually the robots. Athena and Casey both try to leave the shop. At the very moment, the second report blasts himself. The shop burned, but they both escaped successfully. Here, we notice that Athena drops her off at Frank's house. She leaves. He doesn't allow her to get in, but somehow she enters Frank's house. Observing the advanced things over there, she was fascinated by Frank. Taking note of that, she walks inside a room filled with screens. Views of the past and the future were projected onto the screens. Casey becomes even more perplexed after seeing everything. I am aware that Frank has created a device to observe both the past and the future. Frank walks into the room and motions for her to leave as he watches. However, Casey insisted that she wait to go until he sent her to the country of tomorrow. Frank insists and gives him advice to stay out of tomorrow's land. Still, she is adamant about going. She discovers that her pal is from the future when she notices all the high-tech items at Frank's house and asks him why he leaves the world of tomorrow. He responded to her by creating a machine for the future. He had left the realm of tomorrow behind. Take note of the screen that the Earth was destroying. Frank admitted that it was all true. The planet Earth will be annihilated. Casey doesn't think highly of him and thinks it's impossible. Her unwavering faith works a miracle, increasing the amount of destruction seen on film. There is little doubt that damage grows with the number of life on Earth. For Frank, it was simply too amazing. From this, he learns that our beliefs are frequently realized. Casey's deep conviction could be detrimental to Earth. For this reason, there is less destruction on Earth. As they were talking, a bunch of robots came out to get Casey. After saving her, Frank places her in a bathtub. He flies his tub, leading them in the direction of Casey before they discover him. Frank's house burns when they take off. Every robot was destroyed. This tub leads them to the river, which originates on Earth and is not from the land of tomorrow. They discover Athena on the same river. Frank saw that and became enraged with Athena since he kept his identity a secret from him. She never revealed to him as a child that she was a robot rather than a human. He was in danger here on Earth, and he cannot travel much farther with Casey on the country of tomorrow. Talks to Athena there of them on teleportation device reach Eiffel Tower. Here, Frank tells her a few years ago, scientists invented a futuristic land. According to Casey, the purpose of scientists was to invent something. No one was there to stop them from making the invention. Further, they named it Tomorrow's Land. He states that this tower wasn't for the beauty of this city. Rather, an antenna to catch frequency from Tomorrow's Land. It helps transmit messages from land towards Earth. Also, this tower is in the opposite direction of Tomorrow's Land. Frank adds further to Casey that there is a rocket that helps scientists take them. They are called spectacles. Later, we notice them sitting on a spectacle. As Frank starts, the Eiffel Tower divides into two parts. Everyone outside gets astonished. In the next scene, they were all in Tomorrow's Land. The governor of Tomorrow's Land meets them. Frank tells him that he can change the future with his futuristic invention. However, the governor doesn't want to hear any more and doesn't believe. He finds it difficult to listen to Frank. He leads Casey over to his cutting-edge device. Casey is also intelligent and has no issue with it. Casey currently uses the equipment to watch her residence. The machine claims that her house was destroyed, but Casey doesn't think it's true. She asserts that it isn't feasible by observing. As they watch, their future actually changes. When the Earth's destruction is stopped, her house returns to normal. Not one governor believes this, not even after seeing it. He tells Frank that the Earth's climate is harmful. However, people on Earth are ignorant. Declares that in 2 months the Earth will be completed. The governor then throws them in jail. Athena cracks the case while they are incarcerated. She claims that while Frank's futuristic machine is real, things will not always go as we expect. She goes on to say that his machine sends messages to Earth in some way. People on Earth begin to think that the planet will end. Casey offers a way to quit communicating negatively with the planet. People would therefore begin to think favorably. The future would be altered by this. They tell him this, but he doesn't take it seriously, explains that they were there to make a contribution to the environment. In response, Casey says that they aren't doing it because of the pessimistic ideas that cross their minds. Thus, people begin to accept the idea of destruction. However, the governor disregards their advice. He then requests that his people deliver them to Earth. As they continued on their journey, Frank greeted the governor with a handshake. However, his real motive was to activate the buttons on his watch to gain access to Earth by becoming the governor. The plan was for Casey and Athena to destroy a futuristic machine, but a mistake led to a bomb being dropped towards Earth. In the chaos that ensued, the governor and Frank hurriedly fled to a future land where they engaged in a fierce battle. Athena, watching from a futuristic machine, saw that the governor was about to shoot Frank. She intervened and took the shot, causing damage to her operating system. Meanwhile, a heavy door fell on the governor, prompting Casey to grab his gun for protection. As Athena and Frank reappeared, a robot asked Frank to activate her destruction button and lead her to the machine. In a moment of reckoning, Frank activated a button on his childhood watch which triggered the demise of the machine, ultimately leading to the deaths of both the governor and the machine. Later on, Casey returned to Earth to reunite with his family, who were engineers, and allowed access to the future land. In the end, Casey and Frank were appointed as the governors of the future land, bringing along talented individuals from Earth to innovate. Despite the imminent threat of destruction, Earth was saved due to the unwavering belief of its people. The movie concludes with a hopeful note highlighting the power of belief in averting disaster. The movie ends here. If you like the video, guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do comments.